Dear all, very good afternoon to all. This is last session of Fishery Oceanography for Future Professional online training course. Then today session I am going to discuss about anthropogenic threats to fishery resources. From last lecture you heard about oceanography and mariculture. Today we are going to discuss overview of these anthropogenic threats. Then let's move into the slide. Then anyone can confirm my slide is visible in chat box or not. Okay, my slide is visible. Okay, this is today topic anthropogenic threats to fishery resources. Let's move into the presentation outline. Then first we will discuss about anthropogenic threats, what the causes, what the effects, then followed by water pollution, then various form of anthropogenic threats to fishery resources, then followed by control measures, final conclusions. What is an anthropogenic threats means? The term anthropogenic threats designates and deleterious or harmful effects caused by mainly human activity to an environment. What are the factors here determined? Means main rapid growing population, then industrialization, then urbanization, then our changing lifestyle due to economic development. Main cause of these anthropogenic threats will be like pollution. It may be air pollution, land pollution, soil pollution, then it may be seepage into groundwater, we can say as a groundwater pollution. Then land degradation, finally this pollutant will affect land, then it will come for deforestation, then it will deforestation means excess cutting of trees, it will lead to soil erosion. Then what are the main effects of these anthropogenic threats means? It can discharge huge volume of toxic effluents in water body, then through sewage system, enormous amount of nutrient inflow will be more. Then finally it will degrade coastal and open sea ecosystem. Then finally it will impair aquatic organisms such as fish, mammals, whales, turtles. Then another effect also will be there, it will cause diseases to aquatic animal as well as human being. Then finally it leads to some extinction will happen, leads to loss of biodiversity or habitat destruction or habitat fragmentation. The main effect of this anthropogenic threats to fishes means water pollution. Why? Because fish is an aquatic animal, it more sensitive to this kind of contaminants, pollutants and other toxicants. Water pollution we can decide as any physical, chemical, biological changes in water quality that will harmful to aquatic organism, that we can say as a water pollution. If when it become unintended use over, when we can consider as water is highly polluted. Due to this water pollution, main effect of aquatic ecosystem is that complete destruction will happen, then it will leads to food chain disruption. In this image I am going to explain about point and non-point source. In this from industrial pollution we can able to trace where the pollutants comes from, and point source we cannot able to pinpoint where it is coming from. It may be surface runoff, then agricultural runoff, then rainwater runoff. Finally it gradually accumulate into a river, then river will brings to lot of pollutants, other nutrients to coastal region, then finally it will enter through open sea. if mainly if we consider this pollutant, mainly it will accumulate three process. That pollutant transfer process will be in three. One is bioconcentration, followed by bioaccumulation, followed by biomagnification, or we can say as an bioamplification. These are different aquatic animal exposure through food chain as well as in water. These are the process I'm going to explain with bioconcentration. Bioconcentration, we can say pollutant or toxicant, it can enter to fish through non-dietary route form like water. If we come for bioaccumulation, means whatever the contaminants it can able to store or deposited in particular tissues or any organs, liver, then kidney, this kind of organs will start to deposit. Why? Because in this contaminant highly absorbed in water and some highly absorbed in soil. Finally, due to hydrophobic material, it will not dissolve in water. Finally, it will get accumulated in fatty tissues. Why? Because this is lipophilic. Then finally get into different organ. Then we can bioaccumulation. We can say is a transfer of pollutants through any planktons, then through food chain transfer it will occur. If we come for biomagnification we can say is a conservative pollutant. It will transfer from one trophic level to another trophic level. Based on this trophic level, that concentration of particular pollutant like PCB, then methyl mercury, then other DDT, it will increase from one trophic level to another trophic level. If we come for base prey, small plankton to then top predator tuna or porpoise, then it will leads to increase the base to top. Then coming slides we will discuss about these cause and effects. These are the main threats to fishery resources. One is untenable fishing practices like unsustainable manner, then oil spill and ballast water, then marine debris. This is the most serious concern in the environment, how we are throwing without knowledge plastic into environment. Finally, eutrophication means influx of nitrate or phosphate or silicate into coastal system. It will leads to different harmful algal blooms like gymnodinium, then other pyrodinium, dinophysis, then trichodesmium, this kind of species, then so on. If you go for climate change and ocean acidification, due to industrial development, our vehicle exhaustion, it will release huge amount of carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide into atmosphere. Then finally it will react with the atmosphere moisture. Then finally it will come as a acid rain. If you come for ocean and coastal region, this acid rain will affect negatively to shell forming organism like bivalves, under mollusk, different community organism will affect. Finally, corals also will leads to affect due to surface temperature increasing. Then so on. If we come for this carbon dioxide, it will react with water. Then it will form carbonic acid. Then if carbonic acid can gradually decrease the pH level of water, then it will release hydroxide plus ion into water. Then it will make acidic. Then fish will get stress on this kind of pollutant. Finally, radioactive and pesticide and heavy metals. Coming slides we will discuss briefly. These are the marine debris. Marine debris, as per NOAA explanation, any persistent solid material that is manufactured or processed and directly or indirectly or intentionally or unintentionally disposed or abandoned into marine environment. Nowadays, marine debris is a biggest environment concern to aquatic ecosystem as well as terrestrial ecosystem. These marine debris, once coming from landward side to seaward side, we cannot control through our normal process. We have to take some of the serious concern about control of marine debris from seaward side to from landward side to seaward side. Mainly these marine debris classified into 7 major categories. One is plastic waste, followed by metal, glass, rubber items, processed lumber, we can say wood, then cloth or fabric materials. Apart from these other materials, we can consider miscellaneous. If you come for plastic consumption per year in India 11 kg per person, then in world average level 28 kg per person. This is sourced from Federation of India Chamber and Commerce and Industry. If you come for fish consumption in India, average consumption will be less than this plastic consumption. Then world level also it will be less than this average consumption, like 20 will be there, but plastic consumption will be more, 28. If we come for India, then plastic and fish consumption in India means 9 kg to 10 kg, but here plastic is 11 kg. This is, if we continue, then in future according to research study, during 2050 we will get more plastic instead of fish. That we can that is the main environment concern. We have to control this plastic flow from landward side to seaward side. These are some materials have to install in different places, or trap or boom kind of entrapment device we can install in coastal areas or near any creek areas adjacent to seaside. Then if you go for river, we can considerably control the flow of plastic from landward side to seaward side. These are the classification of marine debris based on origin, mainly ocean based. Ocean based means directly from ship or any other fishing activities. This kind of sources will be there. Then land based means medical waste, different other metal beverages cans, balloon and six pack rings due to our amusement activity. Then lot of debris will accumulate in beaches, that will also create a nuisance to coastal aquatic ecosystem. If we come for general source, we can say in landward we can put wherever, like we cannot able to trace the plastic source, like we cannot pinpoint where it is coming from. Directly we can discard into river, we can discard into while moving from one place to another place, directly throw away in that road. This kind of factors will also increase that plastic amount from accumulation in aquatic environment as well as in major in marine environment. The total production of this aquatic total production of this plastic production in global level, we can say is around 336 metric million tons, but in rough average 80% of 70 to 80% of plastic can be recycled. Then other plastics, it can go directly from landward side to seaward side. It is our one study saying per year averagely 8 million metric tons goes into the ocean. This is if into consider, then major effect will be in fishing. Then other bioinvasion will happen. Then due to this bacterial this plastic accumulation, lot of microorganisms will develop. It will highly harmful to human being as well as aquatic animal. These are the ecological effects of plastic debris. If we discarded any plastic material into anywhere like land or sea, that it will considerably exposure to weathering process like photolysis, UV radiation, then other oceanic process like waves, tides, then other process, it will convert larger material into smaller material. Then it will ultimately increase microplastic contaminants in coastal and open sea. Then it will interact with other contaminants through leaching. It can emit toxic materials like dioxins and bisphenol A. It is highly endocrine disruptor. Finally organism will exposure, finally potential will occur in animal, finally it will come as a human. One will change, behavioral effect will change, morphological effect will change, then physiological means life process will change, then total entire life cycle will change, like biology of fish continually change. Then these are the effects of this plastic debris. Then If these are the examples for some marine debris, if due to this tidal activity huge volume of marine debris accumulated near coastal area, while spring tide there is a greatest dimension between highest high tide and lowest low tide. In that time, whatever the material already thrown into the sea or goes into the sea, it will bringing and taking from sea to and deposit in shore of coastal. This is the example for Juhu beach in near Mumbai in India. Then this is the most commercial beach in Mumbai, as well as here highly density populated area. Then this will be these are the main source bringing lot of plastic debris, as well as other marine debris include metal cans, glass, lumber from different source. Then it will also directly connected from water from the river to fish. We can say it is a creek area, where the creek area it can easily access plastic accumulation. Then these are the some examples for marine debris. These are the example for microplastic. Microplastic will be particle size will be less than 5 mm, that we can say as a microplastic. Microplastic is the most serious concern. Why? Because this act as an plankton, then finally it will mimic to fish, then other plankton it will take as a food, finally it will gradually accumulation in stomach, then it leads to starvation in the form of microplastic or either macroplastic, then finally fish will die due to starvation and so on. If you go for debris accumulation, another important process will be the like gyre activities. Gyre I already told in earlier classes when I was taking a revisiting oceanographic process. In that process, convergent zones, wherever the two water body mass, it will move towards each other. That time it is bringing lot of plastic debris and accumulated in open ocean. Then that place is a great Pacific garbage patch. We can say as this will be most important place to collect plastic debris in ocean. That one study is according to Slate et al. They have developed one large boom. They have installed in open sea. They have collected a huge amount of plastic. Then this plastic they can take, they can recycle, they can use for different purpose. Then other recycling in purpose. Then another more importance is oil spill at ocean. Oil spill we can say is a contamination of seawater due to oil pour as a result of ship collision or accident. Then other ONGC activities like oil exposure, exploration activity, it's mainly caused by human error. It will spread highly due to light density, then it will make as a oil slick in the surface of the ocean. Finally, due to weathering and spreading, it will form as a chocolate mouse. Then finally it will form as a solid material, then it is gradually deposited in beach. You can see lot of beach that black color tar balls, it will be accumulated due to this weathering and evaporation. Lighter material will evaporate through volatilization, then other process, then high density molecule, then it will deposited on beach of sand. This is the oil spill. We can is a highly complex hydrocarbon. We cannot say this is the contaminant where it is occur, then how it is occurring the coast and estuaries. Then some can cause serious health problems in marine environment and its habitat. Finally, main threat is it will contaminate entire coast and estuaries when the oil spill happen through this kind of accident or any other activities. These are the ecological effects of oil spill. Then we can say as a bubbly health impacts, mainly caused by toxic fumes or by eating contaminated fish or shellfish. Then if oil spill is continuously spreading on surface, then phytoplankton will not able to synthesize production from sunlight, that will hinder most. Then other obvious impacts such as losses and disruption of commercial and recreational fisheries. Then obviously it will affect seaweed harvesting. Then seaweed, once oil pollution occurs, it will surface of the seawater. Then seaweed culture also will affect diversely. Then boating, then we cannot go for our boating for enjoying purpose. Then if we come for affect, it can be directly or indirectly. Directly we can say is a physical and toxicological process. Physical means it cannot able to move from one region to another region, that mainly it will give more stress on organism, that is a physical effect. Then toxicological means it can enter through respiration, then other smothering, then other suffocating effect will be there. Indirect, it can indirectly transfer through food chain. Then it will comes for coming slides, and then I will discuss later. Then these are the main ecological effects of oil spill. Some of the plankton species responds differently to different oil. Then it will mainly affect nutrient cycling in aquatic ecosystem, like nitrate, then carbon, then sulfur, then phosphorus, then different nutrient will be there, which is most important for organism growth. If affect means, then we will not get primary production. Finally it will always ultimately affect fish production in coastal region as well as in open ocean. These are the some example for oil spill in ocean as well as coastal, but mainly this in coastal. In this picture you can see how this oil spill, then how it came through coast through wind action, then wave action, then other oceanographic circulation. This happened in 2017. Exactly I cannot able to remember that year, but in near Ennur port of Chennai it happened that some of the pumping is done to remove that oil from one region to another region. You can see the surface of the rocks heavily accumulated the oil, that will gradually decrease our aquatic organism association and other abundance, other distribution. This we can say through tidal activity. Then whatever the oil bringing, it will make impervious layer for nutrient mixing in soil sediments. Then this picture you can see clearly, due to this oil effect surface body in turtle, it cannot move freely from sea to shore region for nesting purpose in beach. Especially this turtle come for make nesting grounds in beach area, in come for Orissa. Then Puri is the famous place for nest breeding grounds. Then if we come for seabirds not only in aquatic organisms, some of the above water level organism also highly impacted, which mainly depend on food source in aquatic organism like fish and other organisms, so on. This due to oil deposit on the wings, it cannot able to fly, then that will make more compressed, then it will leads to die. This is the ballast water. The another important source for ballast water we can say as a bio invasion. Nowadays our transportation has evolved rapidly due to this demand of food, any other cargoes, then materials from one country to another country. Then this time we have to consider ballast water, what is the impacts into aquatic ecosystem. Once ballast water ingested at port source, if continuously travel from source point, whatever pumping organism from the source port, it will enter into ballast tank. During that voyage time, then it will acclimatize that harsh condition like low dissolved oxygen, then other low limiting nutrient condition, then other low light condition like ammonia. It can able to acclimatize their body. Then finally if you comfort this, then in comfort Mumbai port, then zebra mussel it transferred from various locally replaced some other organisms, not only animal organisms, other plant organisms also will survive. Then it can takes place overgrowth on native plant. Then why we are using ballast water means we have to maintain the vessel stability throughout the voyage. For that purpose we are using ballast water. The alien organism means non-local organism, it will become dominant components two of the invaded biota. It can cause major economic damage and ecological disruptions. It will main effect is it will create bio invasion. Bio invasion we can say is a introduction of alien organisms into new environment, that is bio invasion. Then this bio invasion also causing this kind of harmful effects to aquatic animals. Then as per different standards IMO, like International Maritime Organization, before discharging this ballast water they have to treat properly, then they have to filter properly, then only they have to discharge at a destination port. This kind of precaution measures you have to take best discharging of this ballast water. Next is heavy metals. Heavy metal we can say as a metallic chemical element that has relative high density. It's highly toxic at low concentration. Major heavy metals we can say as a mercury, then cadmium, copper, chromium, lead, zinc, arsenic. Mainly it will comes from landward side. It will highly affinate towards land sediments. Then I already told, then if you come for water, then it will react in the form of hydrophobic condition. Phobic means heating. It will not dissolve readily in water, but in a lipophilic it can readily accumulate in fish tissues of various organs. If you come for fish, then it will come for different filter feeders like bivalves, then other oysters, then mussels. This kind of organism will accumulate majorly in their tissues due to that filtering capacity. Then finally it will come our human plate. This will also affect mainly our physiological process. These are the toxicants in fish. Mainly these toxicant, how it is react with the different organ of fish, then it will have toxic. Then zinc, it will react with blood, it will leads to hemotoxicity. Then arsenic react with the liver, then it will leads to hepatotoxicity. Mercury and lead react with brain. It will mercury we can say neurotoxins, more toxic to brain, then neurotoxicity will form. Then cadmium, kidney, lungs, then it will also lead to nephrotoxicity, pulmonotoxicity. Then exposure route for these contaminants we can say is a dermally. Dermally means through skin, semipermeable membrane will be there to that whenever fish swimming in contaminated water, that time it can expose. Breathing, during breathing time, respiration time, it can expose through gills. Oral time, direct ingested through mouth. These are the source of enter these contaminants. These are the ecological effects of heavy metals. We can say is associated with the different disease like heavy metals. Mercury related with Minamata disease. Mainly it is from Japan. I think you people might heard about Minamata Bay. How this methyl form of mercury, then organic form of mercury, highly toxic to organism. Finally it will leads to different diseases in human being. Arsenic means black foot disease. Cadmium means ouch. Cadmium means ita couch. Zinc means lung disease. These different diseases will occur. Then it will act as a neurotoxin, then different toxin. Then teratogen we can say is a formation of abnormal structures. Then ultimately it will affect organism fertility. It will lead to alter or change the genetic structure of animal organism in the form of deoxyribonucleic acid or ribonucleic acid. In that pairing it will be the adenine and thymine and AT pair and GC pair, that will greatly affect. Then it will also reduce that enzyme secretion as well as protein synthesis. These are the pesticides. As per Environmental Protection Agency, they are defines any substance or mixture of substance intended for preventing, destroying or repelling or mitigating any pest. Pest means any unwanted organisms in agricultural land, any other aquatic bodies. Sites mean to killing the particular organism. That's why we can say it's a pesticides. They can many types, herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, nematicides and rodenticides. Mainly if we come for these pesticides, we have to look insecticides, DDT, diphenyl trichloroethane. Why it important means it's highly persistent and it can accumulate in fed chain. The normal residence time of this DDT will be 4 years. That this will be highly based on that photolysis, then other elemental state from one form to another form. Then mainly this kind of pesticides, heavy metals, it will transfer through leaching, means horizontal loss of these contaminants. Then percolation means vertical loss of these contaminants in sediments as well as in ocean. Then plankton, this plankton is the important source for entry of these pollutants into aquatic environment. Obviously zooplankton will depend on phytoplankton, then it will get to accumulated in zooplankton body, then finally it will gradually transfer to food chains. But these are the ecological effects of pesticides. It will inhibit migration route of fish, result in severe disruption of the life cycle, schooling and spawning behavior. At low concentration we can say as a 50 pm, that it will also act as a sex hormones blockers. Then other it will majorly affect nervous system through neurotoxin, then different so on. Another abnormal sexual development will be there. Then sex ratio abnormally will develop. Then pairing will be 1:4, then 4:1, like that will be there. Then unusual mating behavior. Then delayed spawning, it can reduce the sex hormones in fish as well as in humans. Then intergenerational effects means that the effect will not shown in that generation, it will affect next generation. That is, we can say, is intergenerational effect. Then finally it leads to eggshell thinning in fish as well as birds. Then increased stress in juvenile fish. Finally it will act as a food for predator fish, then due to this reducing their activity. Then why eggshell thinning will happen means it will accumulate gradually. Then it will prevent that calcium deposition in cell. That is the process. It will make eggshell thinning. These are the eutrophication you might heard about. The nutrient highly concentrated nutrient water, it will influx or enter into any aquatic ecosystem. It will gradually increase algal bloom. If gradually increase algal bloom, then it completely block the sunlight from top surface of the water body. Then it will create harmful gases such as unionized form like ammonia, highly toxic to fish. Then another decomposition will happen. Then during decomposition bacterial activity will be more. That time it will take lot of dissolved oxygen from surrounding waters. Then it will lead to oxygen depletion. Then it will create pH level, then other ammonia, then other hydrogen sulfide. Then this also will change. Then it will highly harmful to fish. Then fish will leads to die. Otherwise it will migrate from that place to conducive place. Then anoxic condition, already told, wherever the less oxygen, less than 0.2 mg per liter, that we can say is anoxic condition. These are the effects of this eutrophication. Under eutrophication, some harmful algal blooms will develop in the form of tide phenomena like red tide, green tide, or yellow tide or brown tide. Mainly toxic tide phenomena is red tide. Why? Because it will secrete different biotoxins like esotoxin, neurotoxin, pectinotoxin. Then these through affect in shellfish like amnesic shellfish poisoning, so dietic shellfish poisoning. Different kind of poisoning will be there in shellfish. Finally if will come for human, then if human also will affect more. Why? Because this, if after taking this kind of contaminated fish, then they will affect through different, they will create affecting through nausea, vomiting, then dysentery. This kind of disease will occur in human. These are the effects of this eutrophication. Some of the radioactive waste, we can say radioactive waste is a mainly deposited or presence of radioactive substance within solids, liquids or gases as per IAEA stands for International Atomic Energy International Atomic Energy Agency. Then radioactivity means radiation are particles which are emitted from nuclei, nuclear instability, and the man-made resources such as nuclear power plants, nuclear weapon testing, or medical waste. Main source is this man-made source. If we come for radioactivity, effect will be mainly on exposure time, radiation intensity, then ionizing radiation type like alpha, beta, gamma. The major effect will be genetic effect like mutation, major change in DNA material and RNA material. Then sometime body growth also will affect like somatic structure change. Some of the untenable fishing methods that also leads to depletion of fish stocks. It's heavy pressure on fish like bottom trawling. It's indiscriminate capture of juveniles, spawners, then other endangered species. That will also leads to fish stock decreasing. Then we have to avoid this bottom trawling, this kind of danger, most danger fishing activity in open ocean or either coastal. Then other bycatch we can say is some of yeah incidental as well as accidental catch. We can say is a bycatch. Bycatch will occur through trawls, then long lines, gill nets. Then in this picture we come to know different kind of species will entangled in hooks in long line. Then this wall gill net that fish are captured through entangled parts like gills or fins or scales. Then these are the bottom trawling. It's consuming taking a huge amount of aquatic organism from deep source. Not only aquatic organisms, it is also harmful to corals. Then these are the dynamic fishing also most dangerous fishing activities in open ocean. For a short time they will use to aggregate the fish, and they will take this sodium nitrate or potassium nitrate and this kind of explosives they will use for getting fish catch in a short time manner. They will get huge catch. This will also creating unnecessary developments of dredging and other harmful activities seabed as well as ocean floor. These are the ghost fishing. Ghost fishing we can classify in the natural way also and man-made also. Natural way means if we install any net in open sea or coastal, due to ocean currents or waves, it will translocating one region to another region. We can consider as a natural, but due to this vessel intervention, if any material cut down, then if it is gradually accumulated, then fish will get stuck in this kind of material. If we come for this material, then fish will go for smothering, then suffocation effect. This also we have to avoid. These are the some of the control measures we have to take. We have to follow 4R principles such as refuse, reduce, recycle, and reuse. These are the important for to prevent plastic. Some coordinated approach we can take installing different entrapment device in water bodies. We have to enhance two-step waste collection method. We have to encourage incentive based approach like fishermen if capture any plastic, if they return to land, we can give some of the money to them. That we can say as an incentive based approach. Beach cleaning through government and non-governmental organization. This kind of activities makes an efficient solution for plastic pollution management. Then oil tanks should be not overfilled. Why? Because some clearance space should be there for fuel expansion. Then before starting the voyage, that all bolts should be tightened in engine and ship and warning and hydraulic lines and fittings before failure in ships. Then other like if we come for industrial pollutants, if we have to regulate the control of pollution discharge at the point of generation. Then different plants, thermal or nuclear wastewater can be pre-treated by scientific methods before discharge into municipal treatment sources. Then if we go for setting up of STP or ETP in different places, we can considerably reduce our contaminants or pollutants or toxicant loading from in aquatic ecosystem. And we have to regulate or restrict the use of synthetic fertilizer like plastic items, pesticides. And we have to create more public awareness. Then people's involvement is essential to control this kind of pollutants from landward side to seaward side. These are the conclusion. I came for this conclusion, and due to this new technological development expansion, then fishing is heavily um, done in open sea as well as coastal. This will leads to fish stock depletion, and then finally it will leads to endangered condition of fish, then other aquatic organisms. Then our regulatory measures, we can impose closed season, then protection of endangered species, prohibition of these destructive fishing methods by all maritime states will help in protecting the fishery resources for future generation. Okay, as now I am going to close my presentation. Participant, if you have any questions or query, kindly put in chat box. My colleague will transfer to me, and then I will ready to answer. Someone asked, microplastics are found in gut content of organism. Is it even harmful for us? Without gut, we can process it. If without removal of gut, if you are eating continuously this kind of plastic contaminated fish, definitely it will affect your body, like endocrine disruptor. I told our lecture. We overcome the impacts of oil, the any mechanism that we can for advanced information. How do we can overcome the impacts of algal bloom? Is there any other mechanism that we can develop? We can develop for advanced information system about algal bloom. How to overcome means we have to pre-treat before discharge this kind of contaminated water into aquatic ecosystem, like setting up of sewage treatment plants, then effluent treatment plants. These plants it considerably reduce the concentration of particulate nitrate nutrients like nitrate or phosphorus, then either BOD or COD. Then it will in this way we can control the algal bloom in open ocean as well as in coastal. How we are going to deal especially with the increasing size of ever growing population in order to reduce human pressure on aquatic resources? This question will be hypothetical. We, if rapidly our human development is continually increasing, due to this increasing we always depend on more resources exploitation in natural resources, as well as we can go for another mariculture activities. Previous session our colleague has delivered this mariculture and oceanography. In that we have to enhance or encourage this kind of mariculture activity. We can control our climate change also. We will get a maximum amount of fish. Then why? Because fish is a most important source for protein. It will constitute around 16% of total protein source. We have to encourage this kind of mariculture activities. Then we will less dependent on aquatic organisms. How bycatch can be minimized? How does it affect marine biodiversity? Actually, it's a good question. Bycatch, it can be minimized by increasing mesh size of particular fishing net, like trawl net or net. If you can install any turtle excluder device, it will also greatly reduce the turtle entanglement in bottom trawling. Then other practice we can follow for prevention of we can convert the diamond mesh size into square cordon mesh size. That will also increase um, mm, biodiversity. Major source of oil spillage we can say is one is ship collision in open ocean, then followed by bunker operation. When refueling time, is there any activities there? Other oil exploration like oil natural gas corporation limited, that is the main source of oil spillage in open ocean as well as coastal. How we can control bycatch in pelagic longline fisheries apart from using specific bait? In pelagic longline fisheries, if you go for, it will be huge distance it will cover, like 100 to 180 kilometer. In this reducing this kind of bycatch will be little quite. Then we have to look for other alternative method for fish catching. Then otherwise we have to improve our fishing skills, then only we can control our pelagic longline fisheries. What are the advancements are being made in recycling plastic that most plastic cannot be recycled? These, what are the advancements we can say, whatever the plastic we have collected, that we can make as a different structures, we can put it in our coastal area, then we can make as like artificial fishing reef, then finally it will make as a fish aggregating zone in open sea. Then in this way we can use this recycled plastic. Then recycled plastic in use otherwise also in your home we can convert in plastic into useful product like pen stand, then other plant growth, this kind of thing we can use. Remote monitoring of plastic, it is possible. Then we can monitor through satellite. Is there any particular wavelength signature is there for particular plastic? Through that we can monitor wherever the plastic is going. Then finally greater Pacific Carvage, that is a major area in open ocean, it will accumulate. We can monitor through satellite based on this wavelength signature. Actually, some cases of algal bloom origin is far away from a region, but due to tidal waves and surface currents is it to coastal water. Yeah, if it's obviously some of the middle of the ocean, some of the nutrient mixing will more like nitrate will be more favorite nutrient for dinoflagellate. It will form red tide in open ocean due to wave activity, then currents, it will come towards coast. That will also leads to fisheries catch, farm, like leads to biopoisoning, that kind of will be there. Yeah, bloom origin. Is there any technology to evaluate the rate of plastics in ocean? We can use any entrapment device in river or near adjacent to coastal side. We can control the flow of landward side to seaward side of plastic inflow. In that way we gradually reduce plastic flow, and we can evaluate how much or volume of plastic entered from landward side to seaward side at particular time period, like low tide or high tide. During high tide time there is a perturbing force like tide, spring tide. Then due to that celestial body position like moon, sun and earth, it will be in straight line. Due to this gravitational pull will be there, then the time more plastic will come from seaward side to landward side. If you install any entrapment device in coastal adjacent creek area, then we can capture a reasonable amount of plastic. Then that is also one kind of technology, low cost technology we can use for these kind of things. What will happen the future fishery in India, particularly species distribution and exploitation level? If you know, India is a open access fishery. If we have not follow any regulatory measures, then ultimately it leads to fisheries stocks depletion, then recruitment will not be there. In this case, we have to increase our banning season. Currently 2 months will be the banning season, then we can increase 2 to 4 months. Then other we have to increase that mesh size of trawlers. Then we have to encourage mariculture activities in coastal population. That will also get most beneficial to coastal community as well as backward people. Then other kind of measures we can take. We know that our health depends on the health of the ocean. What are the precautions we should take, especially in developing countries? I already explained this. What we know that our health depends on health of the ocean. What are the precaution measures we should take, especially in our developing countries? If you go through my slides completely, then you come to know what are the control measures we have to take to tackle this pollution. Do we have any technology that can monitor? Do we have any technology that can monitor plastics in the ocean? In the ocean, we can monitor those space-based platforms like satellite. But if we can control the plastic inflow from landward side to seaward side through installment of this kind of entrapment device in coastal region, that maybe is a suitable technology to control. If we control our pollution load, like plastic pollution load from landward side into seaward side, then no need to think about open ocean debris, like kind of things. They have installed huge booms. They have covered that big span in surrounding the near garbage patch like Pacific Ocean. They will take, then finally they will come, then will use different recycling. They can use different purpose. In Gulf of Mannar faces this problem and fishermen losses around 10 lakh rupees due to algal bloom. Lobster cage culture in damage. Yeah, if algal bloom, if excess is there, it will create unwanted environmental conditions to lobster cage. Then then I told, then aquatic organisms are highly sensitive to this kind of pollutants load. That if algal bloom is there, if completely sunlight block will occurs, then it will not produce oxygen. Then fish will goes to smothering or suffocation effect, then produce lot of toxin that will also increase. And then bacterial intensification will be there, then ammonia level will increase. Then temperature if control means, then other dissolved oxygen will not be there, that will also highly harmful to fish. Then that will face huge loss of fish as well as economic loss to fishermen. In 2050, world population will increase from about 9 to 10 billion people. What are the measures we must take to avoid the worst? So everyone facing this kind of questions and follows. Then we have to make sure less dependent on aquatic on organism for food, rather than we can encourage our mariculture activity. We can reduce our intensive fishing and others. Then considerably we can plan our huge population increase. Then if some people are going for 2 to 3 people, they can come for one people, that will also reducing the huge pressure on ecosystem, that will also gradually reduce. Are there any efforts being taken towards developing some techniques to control biota from overfishing? Some efforts we can consider, like I already told. Overfishing means we increase the mesh size. If conversion of diamond mesh size into square cordon, then if we come for converting tuna other by trawler into longliner, this kind of vessels converting, that we can also increase our fish catch. Out of many consumable fishes, which ones are most vulnerable to anthropogenic threats, especially in Indonesia? Okay, I have received still lot of questions, but our directors want to deliver bilateral section. For that, I am closing my lecture. I hope you have people enjoyed this session. Thank you very much. Stay online. My director talk will be there. You can also listen our director talk. Thank you very much.
You're connecting it?
ಉದಯಗೋಸ್ಕರ Shall I start? So we have finished all the lectures, and now we are entering into this valedictory session of this particular course, and I would request Director Incois to give few comments on this particular course. Sir, please, some comments from your side.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good afternoon, good evening, or good morning to all the participants, depending upon where you are. I'm glad to be here with you, joining you on the occasion of this valedictory session for this course. I've been told by my colleagues that the course has been very kind of in a sense that it was very productive, the course, and then there were very good lectures and discussions. So as most of you are aware already, the International Training Center for Operational Oceanography, under whose ambit this course has been conducted, it's actually one of the major activities under the INCOIS. INCOIS itself is the Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India. And the ITCO Ocean is one of the recognized Category 2 training centers under the UNESCO framework. So we conduct several training programs. We have been doing this for the past several years, and then since we got stuck with the COVID, most of our courses have moved online. And this is the fourth such online course that ITCO has been doing since the COVID restrictions started earlier this year in March. So this course specifically, as you know, focused, this is on the fishery oceanography for future professionals. And I'm aware that several lectures were given by eminent colleagues, very knowledgeable colleagues on oceanography and fisheries and related aspects. And I'm sure you all have benefited from this course. So this is the first. This is the one which actually we had a fully online session, and we are very much happy that a large number of participants took part in this course. We have received almost 1,400 registrations from 70 countries across the continents and time zones. This is a huge number for us. And this is very important because a third of this 1,400 registrations have been foreign participants. So such a response has boosted our team's confidence here to coordinate more such courses in the coming months. And this course has a unique focus to bridge the gap between fisheries and oceanography in the young minds, such as postgraduate students. And I'm happy to see that my colleagues have woven a bouquet of wide variety of topics, ranging from biogeochemistry to satellite telemetry to other fisheries aspects. And I'm sure that this will nurture a novel breed of fishery oceanographers, extensively making use of technology to ensure sustainable fisheries in your own respective countries. As most of you are aware, starting next year, that is 2021 until 2030, we are actually going to embark, the entire world is going to embark on a major initiative called the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, which is a UN initiative being coordinated by the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of the UNESCO, which aims to kind of bridge the gaps between our understanding of our oceans, enhance ocean health, manage our ocean resources much better. So I'm sure such courses will help us manage our fisheries and other ocean resources much better. I thank you all for participating in this course, irrespective of where you are and then what the time zones are. I'm aware this is it would be very inconvenient timing at some part of the globe at any point. So thank you for joining us from far and wide. And please do coordinate with us, keep in touch with our scientists or email if you need any further support. And then please keep looking at our website where we'll be posting information on more such courses, not only for fisheries oceanography, but several other aspects of marine science and oceanography. Lastly, I would like to thank my colleagues at INCOIS and the International Training Center for Operation Oceanography for taking up such an extensive effort, and also not the least, participants, all of you who have made this training course very successful and fruitful. Thank you very much.
Now I request the coordinator of ITCO Ocean program, Dr. Uday Bhaskar, to take charge of this session.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to see such a big number.
As our director has already pointed out, we are ordered to conduct such online courses because we are little unhappy in the beginning of this year. Owing to COVID, all the planned courses have been cancelled. But then we just wanted to reach out to the people like earlier. So we sent out some sort of questionnaires to all people. And the response that we got from all of you is really encouraging. So that's what has prompted all of us to go ahead as planned, even with the virtual classes. So that's the beginning. And then we kick-started our first course in August, and we have been continuing. And we observe with each course, the number of registrations have gone up. And that's a real encouraging point for all our colleagues here, just to show that like we are doing a wonderful job because people are there to receive the content that we are making it available. So this is the first course in fisheries, and all my colleagues have done a tremendous job in reaching to you all. And unlike other courses, this time we started to live stream this so that people can go back and forth and then keep doing it as many number of times as they want, so that the content remains with them. And hope you all are elevated in your knowledge through these courses. And I wish you all the success in your future endeavors. And in case you have any specific doubts, please don't hesitate to write back to us, because of the live streaming there is some restriction in terms of asking the questions. I have been answering some of the emails to all of you, but I still suggest please write back to us, and we are all open to answer any of your questions. I wish you all the best in future endeavors. Thank you.
So some of the participants were actually very proactive, and they wanted to share their feedbacks, and they have shared us some recorded videos, so that we will be playing here before concluding this session.
That lag is there. After that lag, you can play.
No, it will go on streaming. You will have to play. Video.
I'm very much happy and delighted to be the participant of this course. Exclusively the course that shared on YouTube. The talk was very informative by all the eminent scientists of INCOIS, which covers several topics. Hi everyone, this is Sudan from ICR Central Institute of Fisheries Education, Mumbai. I'm very much happy and delighted to be the participant of this course, exclusively being
Alright, so as we move towards the end of this particular valedictory session, now a few announcements. So before announcement, first we would like to say that it was not only the participants who were attending this course who was learning, it was a lot of learning for us as well. So like our director and the coordinator also said that we have been doing this for the first time at this scale, and it has taught us a lot of things, and on how to make the lectures in a more smooth manner, and how to manage content as well as content delivery. And we hope that we would be able to deliver much more better in the upcoming iteration of this course. So before we conclude, a lot of you have been asking the question when the test questions will be made available, and for how long it will be made available, how it will be made available, and how do we attempt the test. So to answer those queries, tonight by Indian time standard, you will be receiving the emails for instructions on how to attempt the test, as well as the link for the online test. And you can take your own time. We understand that not all of you will have stable or very good internet connectivity all the time, and other commitments as well. So because of that, we hope that you would be able to make use of next full week, for which we are going to keep the link open to attempt the test. And we encourage you to go through the videos again when you feel that you need to get the information to answer the correct question, so that our main objective, that the content should be delivered to each and every participant, will be fulfilled. So make use of next full 1 week, for which the test link will be open for online test, and attempt that. All the registered participants who attempt and submit the test successfully are eligible for getting this e-certificate. And please don't forget to also provide us feedback, whether good or bad. Both will help us in delivering the best lectures in coming times. So with that, we are ending this particular